Darren, let's talk about your new man first up, Barley Mumba. Just tell us a bit about him and what he's going to bring to the side.
Well, it's one we've had an eye on for a while. Really athletic fullback or wing back, comfortable both on the left and right. So yeah, really looking forward to working with us. In terms of, we think he'll add a bit of quality. He's obviously very athletic, and it's an area we needed to fill. So yeah, we were delighted to get it done. Lovely lad. Just had one day today with us training, so we're looking forward to him joining us.
Yeah, so from what you're saying there, a player that you were looking at even ahead of Dan Butler getting his injury?
Yes. It was a player we had an eye on for a while. So we're just thankful we get it done. And the boy was very keen to come. Norwich have been great to deal with, I have to say. And that always helps. It's not always the case. So, yeah, he's a good signing for us.
When you spoke with Phil the other day, you outlined some of the reasons why you fear it might be even more difficult than usual to get business done during this January window in the background of COVID. Having had the first week, what's your sense of the market as a whole? Is it going to be as challenging as you thought?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge. And January generally is. It's never an easy market. And that's why I've never been a massive fan of changing too much in January. But I feel the way the first half of the season's gone, it's a case of either some players have got to really step up, or we just need to freshen things up a little bit. So we've identified certain players, but it's difficult. I have to say it's difficult because the reality of it is we can't compete. We cannot compete with pretty much most or all championship teams. Some of the inquiries we've made, the players are on probably about 10 of our players in total, wages wise, in particular the attacking areas. It's so hard. It's very difficult.
Just with Connor Coventry heading back to West Ham, what was the driving factor there? Was that him? Was that West Ham as a club? Was that you guys? How did that play out?
Well, with Connor, obviously, we'd been after him for a while over the summer period. And then we've obviously brought Nobbs in. And we had George already in, so there was George, Jack, Nobbs, there was young Kyle Barker. We felt Connor would be a really good addition, a good player, very good player. Circumstances were that the way the team, not so much the results, but that area of the pitch, Ollie came in and was absolutely fantastic. Jack, obviously, being a real key player for us. I just couldn't find a way of getting Connor in the team on a regular basis. And it was unfortunate for the boy. But like I say, these things sometimes happen. Great lad, fantastic professional. Really hope he does well. And he's probably, I would imagine he may go League One and play on a more regular basis. And it was really down to that. But he was very professional and we'll keep an eye on him.
With Siriki Dembele, you mentioned the other day that focus is really important for him during the January window, given all of the background with his situation. Have you got a clear plan of action? Does he know exactly what to expect from the club and you know exactly what to expect from him?
I don't think it's an issue with Siriki. I really don't. I think it's a case the boy's enjoying his football, he's enjoying his training, playing with a smile on his face, been very, very good. Certain areas he needs to add goals, definitely. But no, he's been one of our main players this season. Totally different to really most what we've got in the team in that terms of that side of that area of the pitch. And he's just getting on with it. There's no issues. We just carry on regardless. And the only thing about January you would say as a manager is you've got to be careful that things can happen in the last minute. And that's when it becomes difficult. But I've always worked in the way that I work with whatever I've got and try and get the best out of whatever I've got. And I think that's the best way of dealing with it and not looking too far ahead in the sense of we're trying to do things, but it might not happen. So I just work a lot around the areas of, look, this is the squad I'm going to have, and if it changes, it changes.
Are you relaxed that it could well be come the summer that he leaves on a free? Is that a problem?
You're probably asking the wrong man. It's not my area. It is a problem that if he does enough to keep us in the league and he goes with our best wishes, probably not. I think that's the decision when you come to January, and you've got a decision to make when someone's out of contract. We have offered him a new one, but he doesn't want to sign it. That's fine. We respect that. So it's a decision. What do you get a bid from in January, and is it enough to outweigh us staying in the league? So those are decisions that will be out of my hands.
Yeah, that is the difficulty really with answering any of these questions, is that you don't know what other clubs may or may not do. You don't know what sort of bids are out there, I guess.
No, I suppose a good analogy is Diaz, Brendan Diaz, Blackburn. He's out of contract this summer. They're trying to get in the Premiership. What do? It's similar. Do they stick or twist? So, listen, we'll have to wait and see. First of all, we have to, if we get bids, they have to be around the mark that we're after. So, it'll take care of itself. I'm not losing sleep over any of this situation.
With the game this weekend, Bristol Rovers have had a lengthy break. You've had a lengthy break. Does that make it quite handy in that both sides are coming into this? You've got two teams that have had that period off, and it makes it a bit more even and fair in that sense?
I guess it does. I mean, I think they've had 1 week longer than us without a game. So it's unusual at this stage of the season, but it is what it is. And we've obviously used the training sessions and the physical sessions to make sure we keep up to speed. You don't know how many more games are going to be called off. Hopefully not many. So, it's a home game for us. We're back playing, which is good. It's an important game in the sense that we want to get in that fourth round for many reasons. We want to put to bed what happened last season, in terms of getting knocked out by Charlie. But there's no point. There's no doubt it's not going to be easy. We know that, and I think most importantly, we've got to play how we have a lot of the times at home and be better in the last third of the pitch.
Yeah, Bristol Rovers have certainly got some good experience in there and quite a few familiar faces as well.
Yeah, they've got some good experience, and like I say, it won't be an easy game. It's about how we approach it. It's about the quality we find in our performance. It's about making sure we stay calm in our performance, because there's going to be periods where Bristol will get maybe control of the game and we don't just go chasing around in ones and twos. I think it's important that we play how we want to play, but we have to up our quality. There's no doubt we have to, in that last third of the pitch, that has to change in this last period of the season. There's no doubt about it.
You touched upon it with the fixture congestion. Are you happy with the fact it will be decided on the day that the replays have been parked? I guess particularly within the context of this particular round, it's handy for you?
I think so. I think most managers would say that. I think you know what you're going into. You know that if you don't do it in 90 minutes, you've got another 30 minutes to try and get over the line. So that does maybe make a difference when you're playing at home. So, yeah, look, we want to get through. That's the main thing, just to get through.
It all moves incredibly quickly at the moment, but with COVID, is it all roughly how it was when you spoke a couple of days ago?
In the sense of the players being clear?
Yeah, the availability.
The availability is 100%. And I don't know what's going on at Peterborough at the moment, but we seem to be just avoiding this. That's my worry about when we're going to get it, because it seems inevitable we may, but no, thankfully, touch wood, all staff, all players, 100% availability.
Yeah, and with the injuries away from the COVID, so Joel Randall's got a slight hamstring problem. Better news though, Ricky Jade could be ready to go.
Yeah, he'll be in the squad. He'll definitely be in the squad. He does need some minutes in terms of, obviously, with the game against Burnley, the 23 game was cancelled. There is a game next week that I'm looking at. He's going to get some minutes in, but yeah, he'll be involved.
What sort of impact do you think he can have over the second half of the season? Because it's been stop-start for him for quite a while now.
Yeah, well, you would say that, but off the top of my head, 3 or 4 players, Randall being one, Ricky another, Jack Marriott another. I suppose you could say that they'll be fresh going into the second half of the season. Ricky brings a lot in terms of his pace. There's no one quicker than him. His pressing, his ability to run in behind defences, especially against when you play a diamond. I like the fact that strikers can run in behind. It stretches the game, which makes more room in the middle of the park. So he brings a lot to what we may need, but certainly he'll bring a freshness.